Hello everyone, I hope you are all good.
Hello, Professor.
Okay, today we're gonna proceed with the last chapter that we covered. It was dividend share purchase and analysis. So I'm gonna go through the calculation questions that we have. I will start with the question 4, which is given here. So talking about the question 4, we assume there is a Sophie Chan, she is the investor, and she owns 100,000 shares of specific company, which is PET. And this PET is selling the shares for £40 per share. And her investment now worth, we can say 4 million, like number of the shares multiplied by the price per share. And she, of course, receives some dividends. And she would like to reinvest this gross amount of dividend that she will receive in order to purchase some additional shares. So assume that this client for PAT shares consisting of tax-exempt investor, and there's no tax on the dividend paid. So if PAT pays 1.5 dividend and Chan's new share ownership will be estimated in the following way, which I'm going to show you now, how it's going to be invested. So as the clientele for the PAT company investor has the same tax rate, which is 0, either buying and reselling the stock with the capital gain or receiving the dividend. So she's in an indifferent position, whether to buy or sell. And the ex-dividend stock price for the PAT actually should decline by exactly amount of the dividend payment. If the £40 per share is before a dividend paid and before a dividend is declared, and we know the ex-dividend date is what? Ex-dividend is the date when the shareholder is entitled to receive the dividend. If you buy the share before this date, you will be entitled to receive the dividend. If you buy the dividends after this date or on this date, you will not be entitled to it. If you, let's say, bought the share before this date, ex-dividend date, then you will receive the share. And the share price will go down, in theory, will go down by the amount of the dividend paid, because the tax is exactly the same for capital gain and the dividend payment, which is 0, tax exempt. So which means the new dividend price, the price will be equal to, after the payment of the dividend, which I said 40 minus 1.5, it's going to be 38.5 pounds, 38.5. So actually, apart from that, she receives, we know that 1.50 dollar per share, dividends of per share. Okay, she received dividend per share, DPS. So in total, the value of the money that she's gonna receive is equal to, we know that we should multiply with the number of the shares outstanding, the number of the shares that she owes. In total amount, the value that she is going to receive, $150,000 or pounds. And for this £150,000, how many shares she will be able to purchase additional amount? So it's just straightforward. Her earnings, the all amount of the dividends, £150,000, divided by the price of the share after the dividend payment, which is 38.5. And that will give us the number of shares as additional amount will be purchased by her for the amount of the dividend that she is receiving, which is equal to 150 divided by, let me just calculate a second. 150,000 over 38.5. So you're receiving like 3896.10 something. But if you approximate, let's make it, she will receive 3896 shares. Okay, additional. She will receive this additional amount of the shares. And the question is asked, what is the Chinese new or share ownership? Okay, she had before 100,000 shares. Now plus we are adding 3,896 shares. So in total, she has 103,896 shares. And of course, if you just approximate this number, it will be more close to this 103,900,000 shares. So if you approximate it, 103,900 shares. In total, she's going to have it. Okay, this is the question that you're asked to solve it. Any question regarding this? Any clue you have? Any misunderstanding?
No.
Yes, please. No.
No, everything is clear. Thank you.
Okay, good. Let's move further. Question 5 is theoretical. Let's move to question 6. Question 6 is, as you can see, it says, let me read it. Corporation is located in a jurisdiction that has got 40% of corporate tax rate and pre-tax income and 30% of personal tax rate on the dividends, and distribute all its after-tax income to shareholders. So what is the effective tax rate and pre-tax income distributed? So there's a formula that we need to follow, and as you can see here is effective tax rate that we have it. So we need to follow this. We need to use it to follow it to get the right things to estimate. Now, if you type it here, it's just straightforward calculation. There is no any logic behind this. We have the tax on the corporate level, which is 40%, and if you estimate it, let me see the formula. I forgot. Sorry. 1 minus tax. Okay. So 40%, that's 1 minus 40% and multiplied by what do you call it as 30%. And if you just let me calculate it, the effective tax rate, 1 minus 40% multiplied by 30% and plus 40%, so which makes 58% in total. So 58%, so we select B. Okay, it's just straightforward. We're just putting everything into the formula that I showed you in the slides. So we're using this formula. 40 and minus 1 minus 40% and times by 30%. Okay. I'm moving to the question 8. Dividend policy for the Berkshire Gardens can be represented by the gradual adjustment as a target dividend payout ratio. The last year, Berkshire had earnings per share of $3, paid dividend of 0.60 per share, and this year it estimates the earnings per share will be $4, and find its dividend per share for this year if it has 25% target payout ratio, and uses 5-year period adjustment dividend. So we need to use one formula here of calculation of the dividend. It's somewhere here. So this is the in order to calculate the stable dividend policy. So they follow the stable dividend policy. Okay, they follow the stable dividend policy because we have adjustment factor and so on. And now we need to just using this formula, previous dividend, increase in earnings like APS, target payout ratio, and adjustment factor. So basically, we are searching for, we said the dividend per share is equal to previous dividend Oops, I'm sorry, my battery is off. Yes, I have to just fix it with my computer, otherwise I'm gonna lose you all. No, it's okay. Sorry for that. So plus increase in dividend, in earnings per share, in EPS, multiplied adjusted factor, and multiplied by what was that? Target payout ratio. So this way we will find the dividend per share for this year by using this formula, if they follow the constant stable of dividend. So represented by the gradual adjustment, target dividend payout ratio, last had the earnings of this year, estimates of this, and find the dividends per share of this year payout is okay, period to adjust its dividend. Okay, now we can easily, we know the previous DPS, dividend per share, and let me call it not as a dividend, as DPS, dividend per share, previous one. And what we are doing in here, we are trying to estimate actually the expected dividend per share. This is like expected for the current year, what will be the dividend, okay? The expected DPS. So basically, expected dividend per share, we'll just substitute all the numbers. 0.60, the previous year, the dividend per share, plus increase in earnings. And we can see that it was $3 and now it's a $4 EPS. So which means it increased by $1 multiplied by adjusted factor. And as you can see here, it says that 5-year period to adjust its dividends. Okay, like it's a very simple to find this number. It's 1/5. 1/5. So basically, if you have, let's say, 6-year period to adjust its dividend, then it will be 1/6. If it's 8 years, it will be just 1/8. And multiply by target payout ratio. Multiply by target payout ratio. So they always put this adjustment factor, okay, when they adjust their dividends, like maybe after 6 years or every 6 years or every 8 years, something like this. And talking about the payout ratio, the target, which is 25%, so multiply by 25%. And at the end of the day, our dividend share purchase, expected dividend per share will be equal to 0.65.
Excuse me, Alimshan, I have a question.
Yes, sure, Azamat, go ahead.
About adjusted factor, where did it come from? The 1/5.
Here, 5-year period to adjust its dividends. So they say that every 5 years they adjust their dividends. So which means
Okay, now I see.
like it
Okay,
says,
thank you.
7-year period to adjust its dividend, then it will be 1/7.
Okay, clear. Thank you.
Okay. And now we've got the 0.65. Okay, this is where we get it. Okay, then we move to question 9. In question 9, it says target debt equity ratio is 40/60. We'll calculate, okay, and I think it's 60%. 40/60, it's 60%. And its capital budget for the next year is estimated to be 40 million. Estimated net income is 30 million. and Apex follows the residual dividend policy. So we need to follow the residual dividend policy to estimate the expected dividend. So in this case, in question 8, we followed constant dividend policy. Now we will follow, as you can see here, we have a constant dividend payout and we have a residual dividend payout. Now see how the constant dividend payout is given here example, and now we have another example that estimates that follows the residual dividend payout policy. Residual dividend payout policy. So net income minus all the capital expenditures. Net income minus all capital expenditures. And it will give you the amount of the dividends by how much the dividend will be increased. Okay. Now we have here budget for the next year estimated to be 40 million. Okay. And estimated net income is 30 million. However, we know that debt to equity ratio that we use it, and if Apex it follows a residual dividend policy. So basically, it's just 60%. Its cost will be coming from this estimated capital budget. So our capital expenditure will be equal to 60%, or we can say that will remain for the company to meet this expenditure. So basically, so using the dividend residual dividend policy, taking into consideration target debt equity ratio, which is 40/60, which is 60%, okay, and 60% of basically it says, and we know that debt is what? Debt is a cost for us, okay, and it shows debt over equity ratio, like that shows that 60% of your expenses is financed, or capital expenditures is financed with equity. This is what it means, this 60%, like debt equity ratio. It shows that 40 to 60 or 60% of your cost is being financed through equity. This is what could be, how it could be interpreted. So which means that this 60% should be getting from estimated capital budget, which is 40 million. So in total, your capital expenditure will be 24 million. 24 million. CapEx, okay, capital expenditure. However, now we doesn't stop in here, but if you follow the residual dividend policy, then from the net income, we should subtract the CapEx, the capital expenditure, and then it will give us the dividend expected to be. How much of the amount of dividend will be paid in total amount. So net income is 30 million minus 24 million. And it gives us actually 6 million of dividends. We select A. Any questions?
Sir, isn't 40/60 is like 66, but we, for simplicity, take 60, right?
Yeah. Just assuming, I just want to go in accordance with the book. Yeah, if you divide 40/60, definitely, it's just, they're just getting the approximate number, okay?
Okay, I see. Thank you.
It's basically 60%, but just in order not to make you not to be mixed up in the question, but the exam questions will be straightforward, directly calculated. It's good that you are raising this issue. Thank you so much. And this is all for this question. And then if you don't have any questions, with your permission, I will move to the last question that I want to solve. And question 13. It's a calculation-based question. So we are given some information here. Okay, we're given some information here. And we are asked to calculate following the residual dividend policy, determine the dividend payout ratio. Okay, how much will be the payout ratio? And we know that the earnings, the netting, to find the dividends, expected dividend in accordance with the residual dividend payout policy, we should subtract from the earnings the capital expenditure, or from net income the capital expenditure. This we know it in accordance with the residual dividend policy. But we need to know what is the net income, what is the earnings, and what is the capex in here. Let's see it. What we have. So we have a book value of equity, 750 million. And we have shares outstanding. We have 12-month trading range, 25, 35. We have current share price. We have after-tax cost of borrowing, 7%. Okay. And estimated full earnings, which is 25 million. So we can say we know what is the earnings. And last year dividend was 9. And target debt equity ratio is 35 over 65. So as everything is same as before, we can just proceed. We can find the capex. It's debt equity ratio that directly tells you, like if you divide 35 over 65, it is like 53%, 53.3. But basically, we can say that, and 53% of what? You help me.
Debt to equity ratio.
No, yeah, that's okay. Debt equity ratio, I agree with this. But 53% of what? In a previous example, we said that capex, this 60% was out of all the capital budget.
Maybe book value.
Think carefully.
Estimated full year earnings. Oh, okay.
Okay, we have here additional information. Okay, that we should not ignore it. Let's read it. Book value could not be because it's not the capital budget. Okay, basically we need the capital budget or capital spending or capital expenditure directly. Janet would transfer, okay. And Wilson Paper is selling of one of its division for 70 million cash. And Wu is considering whether to recommend the special dividend of 70 million or repurchase 2 million of shares. Wilson, okay. And she's reviewing some possible effects of the buyback with the company's financial analysis. And Wilson has the long-term record of gradually increasing earnings and dividends. Wilson's board has also approved capital spending. Okay, this was I was looking for. 15 million to be entirely funded out of this year earning. Okay, here you go. It's given. We don't have to even estimate.
Sir, if we had to estimate, what numbers would we use?
We should be given a capital budget for certain project. Okay.
Okay.
It's not given in here, the capital budget, but still it's around something like 28 or 20 something million, but it's not given here, the capital budget. Basically this debt equity ratio out of what you call the capital budget, as it was in the previous example. Our capital budget is 40 million for the previous question, and we got 60% of it, 66% of it. But in here, it's just directly given capital spending of 15 million. So just straightforward question. What you do here, 25 million, which is net income, minus 15 million. So you've got 10 million. 10 million will be paid as a dividend. So 25 minus 15 million. Here is 10 million of dividend will be paid. This is expected dividend per share. However, we need to find out payout ratio, and it's just very easy. We know that the net income after the paying the taxes is divided into two parts. Either you pay the share, either you pay the dividends, or you keep it in the company, like retaining earnings. And 10 million will be paid, so which means 10 over 25 of the net income will be equal to, if you just calculate, just a second, it's less than 50%. 40%, okay. So dividend payout ratio, dividend payout ratio, 40% is dividend payout ratio. This is what we were asked to estimate. So we select in question 13B. Okay. Okay, I finished this chapter. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask regarding this chapter. If not, I will take the attendance now quickly.
Excuse me, in the final exam, we have the similar problems, yes?
Yeah, just concentrate at the end of the chapter questions. Solve this as much as you can.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Renat is here. Ablayhan. Camila. Temirlan, Kairbek.
Yes, I'm here.
Azamat, Kalam here. Alessia.
Yes.
Gani. Okay, Alexander.
I'm here.
Park, okay, he's not. Alibek.
I'm here, Professor.
Nariman.
I'm here, Professor.
Marlene. Okay. Rustem.
I'm here.
Jangir. Vladislav.
Yeah, I'm here, Professor.
Okay. Azamat Umirjanov.
Here.
Great. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to ask, even it shouldn't be related to this chapter.
Sir, maybe you could solve like just 2-3 questions on measure of leverage.
It's already solved. It has been already solved. Why should I repeat it again, Azamat?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I already solved. There is a video already. You can rewatch it if you want. If you will still
Okay.
have specific questions related to it, then we can go over it.
We have recording, right?
Yeah, it's there. Let me just check it. Let me just check it to be sure about it.
Okay.
Yeah, tutorial.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. So when you will be solving, and please solve it and feel free to contact me if you face any problems, any questions while preparation. Okay, I will be very pleased to answer. If I'm not answering like immediately, I will answer it in like 1-2 hours later. It can be video through the WhatsApp, it can be voice message, any message. You're welcome. And today is the last lecture, and I would like to express my thankness and appreciation, and that you have participated and you have put a lot of efforts in projects, in your exams. I'm really thankful for it, and it was glad to know you all, guys. Unfortunately, we couldn't meet face to face, but maybe there will be a time we will meet it in nearest future when this pandemic will be over. But anyway, I'm very glad to meet you all and to know you all, and I wish you success and luck in your exams.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
If you have any questions, you can ask. If not, thank you so much. Then I see you on the exam.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Take care, guys.
Goodbye.
See you. Have a good day.
You too. You too.
Excuse me, Professor, one more
Yes,
time.
please.
When we will have our exam on 26th?
It's 26th of April at 7 p.m.
At 7 p.m. So on next Monday. Yeah.
No, not next. This
The-
coming Monday. After 5 days.
I mean on the next week.
Yeah. Please do not mix up with the next Monday. It's very important.
Yeah. So thank you,
Okay.
Professor. Bye. Have a
You're
good day.
welcome. Yeah, you too. You too. See you later.
Thank you, Professor.
Excuse me, Professor, can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
So questions will be similar, yes, on exam?
Yeah, similar. Not same, but similar.
Just different numbers, yes?
Different numbers, maybe some tricky parts will be added, but you have to read it very carefully.
Okay, thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Take care.